All right, Sanford, it was great working with you today, dude. I'm excited to see where we can take this. As far as the critiques that I'm going to talk about here, these are not necessarily things I need you to change right away, but just things that we can work on over time. Okay, so as we talked about here, the first thing that we noticed was that the toe was up in the air, and that was causing your heel to be down, and that's going to cause for a lot of heel contact, and that's where the majority of your shanks kind of were stemming from, that we started with today. Again, not a big deal. As you work through this, we're going to be, dropping that toe down. And then we also talked about closing the face. So rather than the face being open, we're going to shut the face a little bit more. And it might feel like you're starting off with a closed face for right now. But again, we talked about that perception thing and how what looks square is actually still technically open right now. So as you work on this, just a really good way to practice this, a good drill that you could be doing at home, is find a straight line on the floor somewhere in your house, like on tile or on carpet, and just do your pre-shot routine over and over and over again, lining the blade up with the straight line on the floor, and try to make it as perfect as possible. Like you're cutting the carpet with a knife, right? Or cutting the tile with a knife, and you just want to have that really sharp precision, okay? And just do that over and over again so that eventually you're going to retrain your eye to set the blade up with the golf ball perfectly straight and perpendicular to your target line, okay? The other thing that we notice is that we talked about the space and giving you a little bit more room from the butt of the golf club. Now, this is towards the end of the lesson, so even there, you have more room than what you started with. But I want to point something out to you, and this is what I was talking about on our phone call, where I noticed that this is going to be a huge game changer for you, okay? So as you take the club back, we're gonna talk some about your backswing as well, but I want to point this out first. Look at what happens when you start to bring the club into the hitting zone, okay? Now, if I get rid of the lines here and I zoom in, look at how close your hands are to your knee and how congested you are in that hitting zone. So we need to really open up some space from the butt of the golf club to the body so that your hips and your shoulders can do their job, right? You have really good hip turn, you have really good shoulder tilt, but look at how congested your spine is here because of the lack of space, right? So where does that start? That starts in your in your starting zone. And it also has to do with your body as you're turning your hips. Your body is wanting to slide a little bit closer, and your knee is wanting to slide closer to the club, which is fine, but let's start off with more room. So I'd like you to start off, and it's going to feel really weird and exaggerated right now, and it's going to feel awful to start, but it will get more natural. Let's start with about an extra 4 to 6 inches away from the club. And I know it's going to feel like you're reaching, and there's no way you can possibly hit the ball that way. But just in your drills, when you're doing your drills, I want you to feel like you're reaching for the club, okay? Just for now. And eventually that's going to start to balance out. The other thing was your backswing, which we kind of talked a little bit about that. Typically, when you look at a tour pro and they take the club away, the face of the golf club is going to be somewhere in this circle. And you can see, because it passes through the hand position, and you can see you have an outside takeaway. I'm fine with an outside takeaway. In fact, I actually play an outside takeaway myself, and you can get away with it. But if you can start to get that a little bit closer to that circle, it's going to make it to where you don't have to have your timing so perfect, okay? So we'll go up to the top. That's fine. I'm good with your top position. You're loading, you're tilted. All of that is good. Go to the transition. This is where we start to kind of drop and turn. Again, all fine there. And then this is really the area that we need to get rid of the congestion in. And then that way you'll get your release to follow through nice and easy. You won't have to tug on the club at all. The reason you're tugging on the club there is because of the fact that you're congested. If you look at most tour pros, when they get to their exit point is at the left shoulder. So you're a little bit low. And again, that's like me being nitpicky. That's not a huge deal. But these are just the tiny little things that we're going to adjust over time, okay? getting into your finishing position. It's a well-balanced finish. I'm good with that. Again, I think the major thing for you right now, the number one thorn in your side, is getting rid of the congestion here in that hitting zone. Let's create some space. Let's get those hips. Let's get those hips away from the golf club more this way, meaning that you're starting off with more room and you're keeping the hips away from the club as you're coming down. Okay. So, but you can still turn and you can still tilt. We just want to create more room away from the butt of the golf club. So I hope that helps. As always, aim small, swing smooth. Peace.